don't know, I have spring fever and I thought I would just pop in. I'm going to plant some zinnia seeds in the greenhouse. Look at my clematis. She's growing all the way up. I put strings up. Oh, I'll do a quick shoot of everything that's coming up in this greenhouse. It's a lot, and I pulled in a lot of plants from outside yesterday that I was getting naturalized to being outside. But then we had a real cold snap of going down to 26. So I put them back in the greenhouse. And I'll reintroduce them back outside and then overnight to get a lot of the perennials that are all down here, all the way around, you can kind of see, ready to be put into the ground. Now, medicinals, native medicinal perennials, they can handle some cold, just like our cool crops. They're used to being in the ground 365 days. However, in my case, they came out of the ground late November and December when I had to relocate and put into pots. So I'm rebuilding the areas that these will go into by weeding, leaving one area for sure where the beneficial insects, I won't touch it, are still living. And I have asked Mother Earth to forgive me to start doing the other areas, but I need to get them prepared because these are natives and they need to be in the ground. They should be in the ground now and they shouldn't look this lush just yet. But I need to amend the soil that's already here. Do the cardboard no-till method. There was lots of weeds, even though there were a lot of natives as well. So I protected those areas, like lots of goldenrod. And then they're just temporarily covered with mulch for a couple weeks. Pull it back and then I'll put my soil down. We just started the process. I didn't have my soil yet. So starting next week, we'll start doing that. And I also opened up my community garden, which I have a cover crop in, and I'm doing fresh milky oats and some other medicinals to teach a class there. So let me take you on down and I'm just going to talk to you. I'm going to show you some of this and then I'm going to get some zinnia seeds in. I want you to see how much we are growing. I am growing for Dr. John Wilson's community garden. I am growing some food and flowers for their volunteer beds that is grown and gifted back to the community. So what a treat that I get to be a vessel to be part of that give back and feeling so fulfilled from finding this beautiful place after Helene to give back to my community that supported me 100. So let me show you. Let me take you on down. So I've had to move all my trays around to get them off heating pads. Once they start developing like this, you get them off heating pads and put your other plants that need encouragement, the seeds to germinate. So I have different basils. This one here is Genovese and my calendula. And I turn my fan off, otherwise the fan blows on these. I don't see anything that I have coming up back here just yet, but I put this in chamomile on the 16th, and I can re-sow if it doesn't work. I have all these little babies. Oh, I just love it. So these are bachelor buttons. And then this year I'm growing peppers, and I just saw this. I'm going to call it Benico. They're snowdrops. Look at that. Baby, happy birthday. I have more of those coming because those are delicious as a condiment. So I have different ones that have a Venezuelan. I have one from Ukraine that's heart-shaped. a Jimmy Nardello. So I'm going to enjoy. I'm not a big pepper person, but things change. You change. I just planted these right here. That's Roselle. And I have 2 in that cell. I got little babies popping up. My tomatoes are on a heat mat, so I have cherry, black creme. I have Borgese, pink brandywine, basil, and I like cardinal basil. It makes the best basil tea. And more moonflowers. I had a problem with my moonflowers, so I'm retrying. This is for our Dr. John Wilson's community garden. It's coming up. The side is finally starting to come up, and that will be your native black-eyed Susan status. Take a look at this. I could just spend hours. This is all of my native plants, except for some. This is a dahlia. I have more dahlias. I got rhubarb. I have another dahlia. Look at my lemon verbena. I took that out of my garden and kept it and overwintered it, and she looks fantastic. And here's the clematis. Look at her climb. So over here, I mean, I've got everywhere. I've got all different, this is my moonflowers. I've had an aphid issue, and the miticide I'm using is natural, but it will burn the leaves. So I'm trying to, I took them out of the pots, and I'm slowly just taking off the burnt part. So that's what I'm doing. I've got more seeds here. And these haven't come up yet. I just planted them. So more flowers and purple bee balm. Lots of bee balm. And then here I have fennel. This one I just planted half of anise hyssop. I am going to plant this one today with the zinnia. And I have more. I mean, so, and this I split up. And this is pincushion. Fennel. And up here, look at those little reds. I like botanical interest. I got the big pack. Cut and come. So these are great for vases and all over your house. And then I love this one here to plant all over as the backdrop of my plants. Because these can get, geez, last year mine got like 12 feet tall. It's the California Giants blend. So I'm going to be doing that. I've got a tray set up. And I'm going to kind of show you how easy it is to, if you've never seeded trays, how easy it is. Look, come watch me. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to write on my little plant identifier with this amazing garden marker. I think I got it with a kit. I'm going to do zinnia. This one is cut and come means the more you cut, the more that will grow, and they get bigger and bigger. So this is something you want to do right away as soon as it gets like its second or third set of leaves, is to cut it back. That makes it nice and bushy. And then you get prolific amounts of zinnia. It is the 21st. And I do have a little tray difference, so I'll just start here. And because I like the giant blend that I mentioned, I'll put zinnia giant. And then today's date. And I will be starting this set of trays with them. So if you've never done this before, I'm going to start with my cut and come. You can read everything on the packet. You wouldn't want to start these outdoors. This could be started in the home under a grow light, or in this case, I have a greenhouse. And it tells you all the information. First, it was packaged for $20.25. which just means very viable seeds. If it says 2024, 2023, I'd still plant them. I plant more for a better germination rate, but here it is. And it even tells you, like, you can sow directly outside 1 to 2 weeks after your last average frost date. I find starting them in the home or in the greenhouse, they'll take off quicker. They'll get bigger than when you just put them in the ground. Now, succession sowing, so when they start to get flowers, then you can put more seeds in the ground to fill in the space to have real bunchy, cottage fairy looking areas of zinnias. So right here, it tells you to go 1/4 inch deep. A little trick that I found out. I've always been more of a person who's had really loose soil, but someone that I know who has grown for many years commercially says that they told me if you pack these down and just surface sow, and this one's 1/4 inch, so it's close to the surface, and you just put a little soil on the top, the seeds will stick better. So if you have these a little more tight, the soil in your little seed packs, it has, number one, more soil to work with. Number two, the seeds tend to hold more. So I might need a little more soil in that one. And I'll do that. So it's worked so far. I've never done that before, but I'm doing it now. You just got to be careful that you don't over wet your soil. Now, my soil is perfectly the moist that it holds together, but it's not so wet that you squeeze water out of it. So it's perfect. I'll have to come in and just top water until it actually forms a seedling, and then you bottom water unless the top dries out. So those are just little tips and tricks I've learned along the way by growing indoors, how that looks. And I like that Botanical Seeds has more information inside their packet. It is loose, so they're not in a packet. They're pretty big seeds. So I'm just going to put one seed in each cell, and then that way I don't have to divide them up. Since these are small enough cells, if they're smaller seeds, you bet there's 3 or 4 in each one of these cells. And so this is, so I put, each seed in, then I will cover with little light amounts of soil because it's only 1/4 inch deep. And some of them, the shell is open, so I know that is not a viable seed right here. That is just the outside that broke off of a seed shell. So I'm looking for something that's going to be totally uniform. I don't know if you can see that all the way around. And that tells me that's a healthy seed to plant. And zinnias you can save your seed heads when the flower opens up, and you can put a little organza bag over it so it doesn't cross-pollinate. And then let that flower head dry inside of that organza bag, and you have your own seeds. You won't have to buy anymore. In my case, I lost all of my seeds to Helene, Hurricane Helene, that is. So I'm starting all over. I did save some of my calendula. This calendula here came from my garden, and I will be using those flowers to keep the seed, and then they're my own heirloom seed. So I'm going to do that. Just dropping these other two that you have here. Kind of tamper down the seed when they're this size. And make sure that it's snug as a bug. Not in a rug, but on soil. I still love that saying. Snug as a bug in a rug. And I'm gonna I'll be right back. I'm gonna get my soil to show you. Okay, you can use something smaller. I have a oil pan that I never use to put oil in my car. And then I just slowly cover, just really lightly. I might have said slowly. Just lightly, because it only wants to be a 1/4 inch down. Each seed kind of tells you. You don't even have to read the packet when you start doing this more and more. It's the size of the seed kind of gives you an idea of how deep it needs to be in the soil. If it's a big seed, like a sunflower, it wants to go down a little further to get its growing on. And then lightly tamp. And again, I mentioned that my soil is a perfect wet. So it's like this, it kind of holds together. So I won't need to water a day or two probably. I'll have to water the tops with my watering can just to keep the tops from not drying out. If you let this dry out, if this dries out, then your seed becomes pretty much not viable. So you really have to stay on top of making sure that your tops, oops, I still see those seeds a little bit. So I'm going to give them a little more soil. And there we go. So I'm going to quick do this one. The giant blend, my favorite. I'll probably do more seeds. I've got my green stalk seedlings. I love them. These right here, they are so easy that I did a reveal on, that you can just put your finger right here and pop them right on out. You can watch the roots to make sure that they're growing, or trim them if they're too long. I want more. I think I got the 5-pack. I think I'm gonna get another 5-pack. They just had a sale with 30% off. I missed it, but I'll wait. They'll have another sale. The same size seeds. They're not much different, as you can see. And I'm going to do the same. So I'm curious, what are you excited to grow or to start from seedling on your own? If you have any tips or tricks you would like to share, especially if you have a greenhouse. This is my first year. The bug pressure, though, I've never dealt with like this before. So that's a little different. But I'm using Dr. I'll get it for you and show you here in a second. It's a miticide, which is for aphids. And it is also for thripe. There's different types of aphids. Green, brown, your fruit fly type. And it's even safe to spray right upon harvesting. It's the Bush Doctor. And it's Force of Nature miticide, controls mites. Natural pest control. It has cottonseed, clove, which surprised me, garlic oil. That's it. You can spray your plants almost every day if need to be during an outbreak of aphids, which I'm going to do again tonight. And you can keep doing it. You can do it the day of harvest. You can do it outside. So it's like 3 tablespoons of this shaken up. Add 3 tablespoons to a gallon of water. I have a big spray to use to spray everything. So that is the one thing that I found out of having a greenhouse. I see it. Is the pest pressure is something I really have to stay on top of. Please feel free to share any tips or tricks. And I'm going to push these seeds down. So it's just repetition of going through what you're doing. I'm excited. We had a good work day. We got a big sale this weekend. All of the tallow soaps come out. Calamine cream came back because I was watching Mike pull a vine off of a tree while we were talking. Thankfully it was ground ivy, but poison ivy's out, guys. It really is. When you start digging in your ground, guess what's there? The vine of poison ivy. It may not be green up above the ground, but it's there and you're touching it. And you don't know. And then you get poison ivy and you're like, how did I get that? Well, because it lives there. And the worst time is in the winter time, because you don't have any idea whatsoever. So the calamine cream is nostalgic. It is calamine clay mixed with wonderful skin-loving nutrients. It doesn't dry up, so it's easy to wash off. You put it on your poison ivy or scratches or bug bites or itchy skin, and then you wait and wash it off or wear it for a while, however you want to do it. So you'll see that on the website. Yes, I plugged in the sale. So all right, everyone, I can't wait to start doing more videos outside of showing you what's going in the ground and how beautiful it's going to be. All right, everyone, stay tuned.